Tonight we speak with a gentleman who has spent a lifetime really dedicated to service of his community and to bringing forth educational principles that will forever endure and help Americans and others learn the lessons of the past. He's been assigned and appointed to numbers of boards and commissions and has had numerous appointments, been a college professor, was the president of Emory and Henry College from 1984 to 1991, was an assistant to the governor of Virginia, and has just had a remarkable career in television and doing television documentaries, radio, certainly no stranger to the medium. And we'd like to welcome Dr. Charles Sydnor to the program this evening. We're going to talk about his book, Soldiers of Destruction. Has been continuously in print, by the way, for 20 years now. Dr. Sydnor, welcome to the show.
Roger, thank you. It's an honor to be with you.
It's a real pleasure to have you here, and I know I didn't do any justice with your biography, but it's so incredible. I didn't know where to begin.
Well, thank you. No, I heard what you said, and that's just fine. That's just fine. I have probably changed careers, I think 9 times now, more than the average person my age. I'm in my mid-50s. But through all of this, as a college professor, as a college administrator, a gubernatorial assistant, a college president, and now as a general manager in a public broadcasting operation, the continuous thread that runs through all of this has been my training as a professional historian. I was trained in modern German history at Vanderbilt University in Nashville, Tennessee, completed my graduate education at the University of Freiburg in the Federal Republic of Germany in the late 1960s. And while I completed my graduate education, I spent a year and a half in the archives of the West German National Archive system, doing research in the original records of the SS. I worked in the Himmler files, the surviving records of Himmler's office that are deposited in the West German National Archives in Koblenz, the records of the Waffen SS, which are deposited at Freiburg, the records of the concentration camp at Spectret. Part of those records are in Munich at the Institute for Contemporary History. The rest of them are up in Koblenz. And I spent on and off over a period of 4 different times about 4 months in the Berlin Document Center, which houses all of the surviving personnel records of the SS officer corps. And over that period of time, from 1968 to 1976, 4 different times in Germany, put together the research that became the book, Soldiers of Destruction, which the Princeton University Press first published in 1977. It's a history of one of the original 3 Waffen-SS divisions, the SS Death's Head Division, or the SS Totenkopf Division. That division was created in the fall of 1939 from 3 regiments of SS guards from the concentration camps in Germany. And the man who was the first commander of the SS Death's Head Division, Theodor Eicke, is one of the still unknown or less well-known major figures, major perpetrators of the Holocaust. It was Eicke who built the concentration camp system, trained the men who ran and administered it, and instilled in the SS camp guards during the period before the Second World War the ethos of brutality and harshness that became the basis upon which the extermination of the European Jews in the Auschwitz death camp and in the other concentration camps was carried out.
All right, maybe you could help us out here, because we hear a lot of definitions of different things regarding the Nazis, but I'd like you to explain to people what the SA was, what the SS was, what were the different branches of Hitler's army?
Well, neither the SA nor the SS were part of the German army. The apologists for the SS after the Second World War claimed that the SS was simply another military branch of the German armed forces, which was not the case. The SS was an affiliate and an agency of the Nazi Party. Briefly, the distinction between the SA and the SS is this. The SA was the original brown-shirted stormtrooper Nazi Party army created in the 1920s that were used to demonstrate in the streets of Germany Nazi political muscle. Most of the political parties in Germany in the 20s had paramilitary formations. That was one way that was an outward and visible sign of your political strength and might, was the nature and discipline and size of your paramilitary unit, and the SA was the Nazi Party's paramilitary unit. The SS was created in 1925, originally as a very small group of men who were very highly trained and disciplined and served the original purpose of performing security duties as Hitler's personal bodyguard. And that group of men from the outset were very elite. In 1929, a young man named Heinrich Himmler, who had joined the Nazi Party in 1922, and who had been a member of the SA and at one time was the secretary to Gregor Strasser, who was one of Hitler's original Confederates. Heinrich Himmler became the chief of the SS, which was still a very small unit within the SA. It was part of the SA. It remained part of the SA until after Hitler came to power in 1933. And when Hitler came to power, by the time Hitler came to power in 1933, the SA, the brown-shirted stormtroop army, had grown to nearly 4 million men. And the rapid growth of the SA caused disciplinary problems. There was sort of a breakdown in Hitler's authority and control over it. And the leader of the SA, a man named Ernst Röhm, wanted the brown-shirted army to become the new army of Nazi Germany, the political Nazi army of Nazi Germany. The old traditional officer corps and the military establishment in Germany, which had survived after the First World War, of course did not want this radical mob of undisciplined bullies to take over the military functions of the state. And in 1934, the leading figures in the military basically gave Hitler a choice. He had been in power about a year and a half. He was trying to consolidate a totalitarian system with an internal political and repressive apparatus that would do away with the other political parties, control the press, media, the universities, the schools, etc. And he needed the military establishment for his long-range goals of rearmament and eventually making war. And a brown-shirted army of stormtroopers was not in any way qualified to undertake that mission. And the leaders of the military establishment said, look, you got a choice. You can either deal with Röhm in the SA and in some way bring the SA under control and get rid of Röhm, or you can, we're going to take matters into our own hands. And Hitler needed the military, so he arranged with the assistance of Hermann Goering, who at that time was probably Hitler's closest paladin, and the two principal figures in the SS, Heinrich Himmler and Reinhard Heydrich. Hitler arranged to have Röhm and the leadership of the SA murdered. This is the notorious Night of the Long Knives, yes. June the 30th, 1934. The SS basically decapitated the SA. It murdered all the leading figures in the SA with Hitler's blessing and on his orders. And Subsequent to that, Hitler issued a decree that separated the SS completely from the SA, and the SS became a separate and distinct institution. And Hitler, at that time, had also sanctioned the beginning of a process by which Himmler was taking control of the police forces in Germany. And between the Night of the Long Knives in June, at the end of June 1934, and the middle of June 1936, Heinrich Himmler and Reinhard Heydrich consolidated control over all of the police forces in the German states and basically merged the police forces of the country with the SS as a Nazi Party institution.
Oh, boy.
And so in June of 1936, Germany had, for the first time, what it had never had in its history. It had a national chief of police. The German system at that time was a federal system like ours, with police powers reserved to the states. And the police forces were regional and localized police forces in states, communities, counties, like here in the United States. But Himmler consolidated police power at the national level in June of 1936 under himself as the chief of the German police, in his capacity as Reich leader of the SS. So from 1936 on, the police forces in Germany worked basically outside the normal standards of law. At the same time, one of the other principal figures involved in